Cubs postseason love, presented by Fields Auto Group.
There is electricity in the air. The Cubs look to grab a 2-0 lead in the National League Championship Series after winning last night over the Dodgers. They'll battle Clayton Kershaw with Kyle Hendricks on the bump. And welcome in here to Wrigley Field. This is Fields Auto Group, Cubs postseason live alongside Todd Hollinsworth and Hall of Fame second baseman Ryne Sandberg. I'm David Kaplan. All right, Holly, last night, a lot of strategy moves. Some people agreed, others nationally did not. Your thoughts on that dramatic win for the Cubs?
Well, I mean, it's an exciting win, however you choose to look at it. That's the bottom line. I mean, what has been the MO of this team all season long? It hasn't always been perfect. It hasn't always been right. It hasn't always made sense. But they win a lot more than they lose, and I think last night was a great reflection of how this team operates. Miguel Montero, probably halfway towards the bottom of the list of likely heroes in last night's ball game, steps up in a pinch-hitting role. Remember the debate, should we carry 3 catchers? Steps up into this role and takes full advantage of an 0-2 pitch and changes the course of the game. This has happened too many times for us to say it's random or it's accidental. I was thinking about Hendricks' last start. You know, in Hendricks' last start, Travis Wood hit a home run. How accidental was that? So this is who they are. I mean, this is the way they play. This is the way they believe. I am not surprised by things that happen on the field anymore with this group. Honestly, I'm in the position now where I almost expect it.
Rhino, what's your thoughts on all the strategy? You're sitting in the seats. You've been around this game your entire life. Walking the bases full. We're doing this. We're doing that. We're walking Hayward to get to Baez.
Right.
There were so many moves.
It felt like a postseason baseball game, didn't it?
It absolutely
It wasn't
did.
regular season. It was postseason baseball. It was strategy at its best. You know what? Base on balls, I've been in baseball a long time, and when you put too many guys on base on free passes, I've seen those base runners score in the strangest of ways. So I think it really played into the Cubs' favor. Not only the fact that it got Chapman out of the game, still had Ron Doan down there who closed 2/3 of the season. I think that was a luxury last night, but it really speaks for the depth of the Cubs team, the no-quit attitude, the late-inning rallies, the guys on the bench, and we've seen it all year. It's not that I've gotten used to it, but or expect it, but I've seen it so much that like Holly was saying, that's what these guys do. They play 27 outs. They have talent, and they even have guys on the bench with very good talent.
You know, it's funny. There's no other sport where fans sit in the stands or at home or listen on the radio or watch on TV where they really feel like they could strategize with the manager. You don't go, oh, why are they running that play in hockey? Or why don't they do that in basketball? Or, God, I wish that blocking scheme was different. But in baseball, because we all played Little League,
right,
everyone says, I wouldn't have walked that guy. Or, how could you do that? Why would you pitch to this guy? That's what makes this game so great.
And you also have the built-in argument of being the armchair quarterback who knows what the right answer is after it happens and said, I wouldn't have taken John Lester out after that. Why? Well, look what ended up happening. You used 3 guys in the 7th, and we got blown up in the 8th inning, and that's the great love affair with baseball and fans and sports talk radio and bar chatter, as these games break down. You're right, matchups matter, and I think this series is going to be filled with them. I expect them again tonight. You're going to watch these 2 managers, Joe Maddon, Dave Roberts. I think he's really gaining a lot of popular votes nationally with the job that he's done with this Dodger team over here, kind of pulling whatever he needs to out of his hat on a nightly basis to try to compete and try to win. So, I expect a lot more of this in this series.
The other thing about baseball is, with all the strategy, when you put up a W, then it works.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. Yeah.
What a stupid move. Oh, you won.
Right. A W's a W.
No question about it. All right, we'd like you to get interactive with our show. We have a fan poll question that you can weigh in on. You'll see the results as they tabulate right on your screen. Go to csnchicago.com/vote. No cost, no special app, csnchicago.com/vote. Do you agree with the decision to pull John Lester last night after 6 innings and less than 80 pitches? Again, vote at csnchicago.com/vote. Rhino, did you agree with that decision at the time? Not 24 hours later, when they made it, did you go, I wouldn't have done that?
Well, at the time, I kind of think of the thought process into that move, and I'm thinking the wind's blowing out. I'm thinking it's only a 3-1 game. There is a runner in scoring position, and you put a power guy up there. If he happens to pop one right there and make it 5-1, I think that would have played huge last night. So I think the fact that John Lester did not have 5 or 6, 7 runs up there on the board played heavily into that decision,
question.
Needing more runs, and as it turns out, 3 runs was not enough.
Yeah, I'm a little bit more result-oriented. I looked at Lester's performance to that point in the ballgame, and I thought he had one more inning in him. I would have liked to see one more inning because it's John Lester, because it sets the tone for what this team is all about. Yes, there were hard-hit balls. We talked about it. We circled 5 of them that could have been significant plays going in the other direction. But the bottom line is he was getting the results, and he needed to get the results. And a lot of those hard-hit balls were on the infield. So until he put himself in more trouble, and if you look through those 4 innings, even with the home run, the pinch home run from Ethier, that's about all the damage there was, in the game against John Lester. So to me, there could have been one more inning for him.
You and I were watching the game together upstairs, and we both said probably let him go out for another inning. However, you could also look at it from Joe Maddon's perspective, Rhino, and go, wow, they smoked one at third, smoked one over at first.
Sure enough.
2 diving catches by Dexter, a home run, a line drive at Russell.
Threw a guy out at the plate.
Threw a guy out at the plate. So he did not have his best stuff.
It wasn't his best John Lester stuff. It was not. He was pitching behind a little bit. He had a little bit of stress with some guys in scoring position, some base runners, and you add that up along with the scoreboard, which was just 3-1 with the conditions that we had, where I would have probably thought maybe 6 or 7 runs could have been up there, 8 runs at the end of the game for either team, just because the wind was blowing out so much. So those are things that are thought about when you're making a move like that.
You know, it's interesting to watch all these different decisions. And John was none too pleased, and they asked him after the game. He said, I throw the ball. I don't get paid to make decisions. When you're a manager and you hear a player say that, do you go, slow down over there, buddy, or you don't let that stuff bother you?
No, that's the truth. He's a pitcher. He pitches when he's asked to pitch, and that's what this team, I think, has going for them, because Joe does make some decisions, and sometimes it's a gut feeling, and it's unorthodox at times. Lineup changes, having different guys play different positions with almost no experience at times this year. But the guys that bought into that, he is the manager, and what a season they've had. So things have worked. Maybe that's part of the magic.
You get some credit when things earlier in the year have gone well. They'll deal with the decisions later.
No question.
All right, time for our Apt Electronics and Appliances pitching matchup, and it's a doozy. We've got Kyle Hendricks going for the Cubs, National League or Major League ERA leader, and he's got a tough task. He is going to be opposed by the best pitcher in the world. He is Clayton Kershaw. Your thoughts?
It's a doozy. You're absolutely right, but I think this is a matchup that we need to watch early. Watch the attention to the details early in this ballgame. Kyle Hendricks, because he came out of the last start early, it's going to be one of those situations where I expect him to be really good. He's dominated here at Wrigley Field. He's at home. I mean, he should relax. I'm not worried about stress. He never seems to show it. I'm just really worried about, him getting hit and taken out of his last start, and what's he going to look like against this left-handed heavy lineup that the Dodgers are going to march out there against him. So with that being said, I like the matchup. The same could be said for Clayton Kershaw, because here's what we know. You win awards for the regular season. 3 Cy Youngs and an MVP. You don't win them for the postseason. He's got a 4.6 ERA in the postseason. I like this matchup a lot.
All right, we'll get to more on the pitching. Let's go to Kelly Crow. It's time for her Coors Light game report.
Thanks a lot, Cap. Kyle Hendricks, a Southern California kid, grew up an Angels fan, not a Dodgers fan, and the West Coast coming through in his walk-up song, Good Vibrations, which is exactly what he'll look to keep rolling tonight in Game 2. Some good vibes after that incredible Cubs comeback. And really, it's already a positive sign that Hendricks is ready to go for this start, considering he took a line drive off his pitching arm in Game 2 of the NLDS. He had to exit that game early, but he said he's 100% tonight, no limitations, and he's excited. Had a front row seat for Lester's performance last night, and this is what he said he looks for in order to be prepared for the Dodgers in a game like that.
Just looking at the game plan, you go about that the same no matter what. So all I'll learn really is kind of maybe the aggressiveness they take out there, how they're going about their at-bats, their game. I won't really watch, pitch specific, how Lester's kind of approaching it, because like you said, he's got different pitches than me, being left-handed. It's going to be a different game plan. So scouting, doing all that stuff will be the same, but I'll definitely tune in to see how the energy, kind of how their at-bats are.
Three-time Cy Young winner Clayton Kershaw will take the bump for the Dodgers. Kershaw contributed to all 3 of LA's wins against the Nationals in the NLDS, including the series-clinching save. That's right. And while the lefty will be pitching for the 4th time in 10 days, he says he feels good and he's excited to face this patient and potent Cubs offense.
I think the one thing that stands out is just the, the on-base percentages of those guys. I think they're constantly working counts, getting into good hitters counts, getting on base. And that's something that is difficult for a starting pitcher. You got to, you want to limit the damage, but at the same time, you can't go four innings, 100 pitches, so you gotta figure out how to get these guys out with quality pitches quickly, and it's not an easy task.
Well, when it comes to current Cubs on the postseason roster, they're hitting .239 against Kershaw, and the defensive superstar of last night, Dexter Fowler, has had quite a bit of success against him, hitting over 444 at-bats. And guys, it was kind of funny, he pointed out last night after the game that this was his first CS win with the Cubs, and that's exactly why he came back. Unfinished business.
Wind up and the pitch. Montero drives one in the air. Deep right field. It's got a chance. Grand slam. Cubs lead 7-3.
Wrigley Field is shaking right now after the blast of Montero. Unbelievable.
Wrigley Field went wild last night when Miguel Montero cranked a grand slam home run, and the Cubs have a 1-0 lead in the series. And Miggy, kind enough to join us now. So take us to the at-bat. Are you looking slider? What are you looking for?
It's crazy because everybody probably think that I was looking slider. No, I wasn't. I was looking for something that I can handle, something that I can hit, and especially 0-2 count. All I'm trying to do is just get a base hit. That's all we need. We needed just a base hit, get one run in, and move on. Luckily, he gave me a good pitch to hit. The pitch before, that one, it was probably a better pitch to hit than the one I hit. I probably was a little bit too big on it because I saw it pretty good out of the hand, and I missed it. But like I say, I got lucky, I guess, and I was able to connect that one pretty good.
Well, you turned into one heck of a pinch hitter, so I'm guessing you'll be looking forward to pinch hitting the rest of the way?
That's not really what you're looking for, but you know what?
I'm telling you, it's how it goes.
At this time, whatever you can help, I'm up for it. If it's a pinch hitter, you wanted to have those results every time you go up there, but it's not going to happen. It's more times that you fail as a pinch hitter than you succeed. But all it takes is one good swing, and your mindset has to be for one good swing and one good pitch that you can handle as a pinch hitter, and see what happens.
You're best known as a catcher, and I interviewed you last week on radio, and you said, I will go out and tell these guys, hey, man, I'm going to lay the law down to you here on the mound, and you try and control them. You just throw the ball. I'll do the rest of the thinking. Take us behind the scenes on that.
Well, sometimes pitchers got a lot of pressure. They have to execute the pitches. They have to make good quality pitches. Plus, they got to be thinking what they wanted to throw. So it's a lot of things going on. It's like Yogi Berra said back then. He said hitting is hard enough to be thinking in the batter's box. So when you get to the batter's box, you don't think. You see the ball, hit the ball. And that's what I try to do to my pitchers. I just wanted to get in the mound, see the signs, and make the pitch. I want to make it easier for them, and that's why I prepare myself pretty good before every game, because I want them to trust me. I want them to trust me with the signs that I put down. Everything that I put down I had a reason for. I just not shooting blanks out there. I got a pretty good idea. I make mistakes because we all do. I'm not always right, but I try to be like the most precision that I can be. Like I wanted to be perfect. And that's what I prepare. I'm not going to be, but
Do the best.
I try to be the best that I can be out there in order for them to have the best game that they can have.
Miggy, this team was here last year in this position in the championship series.
Not in this position. We already were.
Well, you know what I mean. Well, but you know what I mean. You were playing a game too, is what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
What's different about this team this year?
We got experience, a little bit more experience. Those kids that came up last year, that was the first time for them in their career. They probably they never even played a playoff in the minor league. You know, and they were probably. I mean, you played in front of this crowd. I mean, everybody who doesn't go out there and be excited because I don't think they're afraid. It's just too much excitement going on. And even us, like I got 4 playoff experience, and I still go out there and I'm be excited because it's fun to play in front of this crowd and this type of stage. But now coming into this year, the one thing coming into spring training that I was probably a little skeptical about was I don't want them to take whatever happened for granted. Because sometimes we got to this point and it looked like it was easy. No, it wasn't easy. We might not even see that again ever if you take it for granted. We got the team if we go out there and compete every single day, which we did this year. And I'm so proud of every single guy because they never took anything for granted. They came out and played, and now they're in the same mistakes they were last year, but they prepared. They've been here before, and they've done it before as well. You know, so nothing we can be surprised about it.
Best of luck.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for taking big night for you, man. Congratulations.
There he is, Miguel Montero. We'll take a timeout. We'll come right back. A whole lot more to do on our pregame show. Cubs Postseason Live, brought to you by the Fields Auto Group, continues on CSN.
That's the one here. Cubs Pregame Live is presented by Fields Auto Group. Fields matters because you matter. See Fields first. FieldsAuto.com.
I'm Dan Fields of the Fields Auto Group. We've prepared a Joe Maddon Signature Edition vehicle. It will be raffled off at the end of the season with the proceeds going to many of Joe's favorite charities.
But not before I have the pleasure of driving it to and from the ballpark. Thank you, Dan, and everyone at Fields Auto Group for this special vehicle and for making this all possible.
For official raffle rules and complete details on how you can win this Joe Maddon Signature vehicle, go to FieldsAuto.com.
It is an honor for Fields Auto Group to help good causes like Cubs Charities and Misericordia. Fields matters because you matter.
In Chicago, some things just go together, like front porches and blue W's, bricks and ivy, Waveland Avenue and souvenirs, Jake and State Farm. Like home and auto insurance with State Farm, they just go together, and they save you time and money. Just another way we're here to help life go right. Talk to a State Farm agent today.
Well, Xfinity has the X1 voice remote, so we can find shows using our voice.
Don't get left behind with DirecTV. The Xfinity X1 voice remote lets you find shows instantly with your voice. Sign up today or get started with this great offer. Call or go online today.
Hello? This is she.
Is that the doctor?
Okay, wow, really? It's 2? That's great news, thank you.
It's 2?
Yes, it's 2. It's 2 for 1 windows at Feldco.
Feldco is offering 2 windows for the price of 1, with no money down and no interest until 2018.
2 windows for the price of 1, and soon. Hurry. Call now.
For quality windows, siding, and doors, call 866 for Feldco.
All right, it is 50 minutes until the start of the game. Still time for you to give Feldco a call at 866 for FELDCO. And welcome back to Cubs Postseason Live alongside Hall of Famer Ryne Sandberg and Todd Hollandsworth. I'm David Kaplan. You know, the Cubs have scored a ton of runs late in ball games. 12 of their 20-plus runs have come late in ball games. What type of a mindset, guys, does it take to be able to score late in pressure-packed environments where you're getting the best relievers they've got? You don't see, just any old guy run out there.
Well, I've always believed it's a growing confidence. You know, it's a team concept that you try to instill early in the year, and you hope you get to, you start to get results. And once you start to get those results, it starts to happen as a unit. You start to expect to come through in those situations. I talked to enough Texas Rangers this year that really absolutely believed it. I think they were like 20 or 30 games over 500 in one-run ball games. And that's the way that they played. I mean, they expected to win, and it didn't have to be, a key individual coming up at a key spot because that guy's particularly hot. It was just creating the situation and the belief, whether it was the manager calling on a pinch hitter or Chris Bryant or Anthony Rizzo coming up in that spot, that we're going to come through and win a baseball game.
It's contagious, no question about it. I think the Cubs of this season started it early on in April, setting that tone, getting used to that. And when you do it early and you continue to do it, you believe in it. But I also give a lot of credit to the pitching staff and the defense, because how many times have the Cubs been 6 or 7 runs down late in the game? They're close games, but when they're behind and come back, it gives the offense a chance to come back. So the confidence that they are going to be close games, they've done it before, they've done it all year, that becomes contagious, and they, like they say, they played 27 outs.
All right, so the Cubs early in the game had opportunities to add on. They hit Kenta Maeda fairly hard, yet they were only 2 of 11 with runners in scoring position. How do you fix that? Because there's been some struggles, Rizzo and Russell most notably.
I don't think it's something that you talk about or discuss. I mean, this is playoff baseball, Cap. It's a little bit different. I mean, 2 for 39 combined between Russell and Anthony Rizzo is certainly noticeable. But what you notice is that there's only 9 strikeouts in those 39 plate appearances, and it just tells you that they're being over-aggressive. Usually when you see a number like, 20 strikeouts, maybe your players aren't seeing the baseball.
Or they're overmatched.
Mechanically, they might be off a little bit. But when you only see the 9 strikeouts, in fact, Addison Russell's only got 3 in those 20 at-bats. Anthony's only got 6. It tells me that you're just plain and simple being too aggressive. And I keep kind of honing in on that second pitch of the at-bat. Pitchers are challenging them off the plate to not swing, and they are, and then they're finding themselves in 0-2, 1-2 counts, and then they're looking to expand their strike zone. It almost feels like a pattern that they haven't been able to get themselves out of.
That's a sign of being a little bit anxious, but the Dodgers have to worry about the whole lineup and the guys on the bench. So I don't think there's any pressure on any one player. Sometimes you want to shorten up just a hair and just play some hard pepper, put some balls in play, get your pitch, and when you're shorting up, whether it's choking up a little bit or just mentally choking up, when you get your pitch, when you are struggling, put it in play hard and see what happens. But it is a full lineup that they have, and it could be just a matter of time that those 2 guys break out of things. But it's not all about them, because the Cubs have
everybody has to contribute.
Absolutely.
All right, time for our Ameristar Casino Hotel and Resort starting lineup. Here's the lineup card. Joe Maddon will jog out the home plate with Fowler's at center, Bryant's at third, Rizzo's at first, Zobrist at second, Russell's at short, Baez is at second, Contreras is behind the plate, Hayward is in right, and Kyle Hendricks will get the ball for Joe Maddon's guys. Dexter Fowler has a great batting average against Clayton Kershaw, second among all players with 15 at-bats or more against them, behind only Chris Stewart. He is hitting .409. Why?
Well, 40 at-bats, a little history. I just think it's that aggressiveness that you need to be out over the plate. I mean, you look at the numbers that Clayton Kershaw has put up throughout his career. Interestingly enough, in the regular season, he's about 500 hits less per innings pitched, hits allowed. I mean, it's amazing. 1,700 or so, 1,200 hits. In the postseason, he's got about 77 innings, and he's given up 67 hits. Well, what does that tell you? Is he all of a sudden become more hittable, or is he just making more mistakes out over the plate? Clayton Kershaw, one thing we know about him, he doesn't like to walk hitters. I mean, he's the greatest example that we've got in baseball of not walking hitters. He wants to attack the strike zone. He has zero desire to make you, put you over there on first base on 4. That's not going to happen. So as a hitter, you think, okay, he might be nasty. He does throw 95 miles an hour. He's got a couple of the worst, nastiest breaking pitches in the world. But when he makes a mistake out over the plate, whether it's with the fastball or that breaking ball, let's be aggressive and put it in play.
And once again, maybe with a little bit more of a put the ball and play hard, not try and overswing and do too much against a guy like him. Good live fastball. Sometimes he elevates. If you shorten up a little bit mentally, maybe you'd lay off of that pitch, make him come down where you can handle his fastball. His breaking ball with 2 strikes is nasty. It's in the zone. It's out of the zone.
It's a wipeout.
Oftentimes, it's a ball but I'll be sitting over there at 133 and say, how can he swing at that pitch? I know how he swung at that pitch, and it was right there, and see you later.
Right.
So he's tough, but a guy like him, if you can just get some base runners, simplify things, and a little bit more of a get guys on base mentality, and see if somebody can get a big key hit, a single with a couple guys on base to get to him early.
How about your thoughts on Wilson Contreras? He gets to start catching. Kyle Hendricks has experience with that. He's also a right-handed bat that has had some success swinging a bat in the postseason.
It's the combination of the conversation. He's a great example. I'm glad you brought him up. I think you would agree with me. Wilson Contreras has shortened up his swing this postseason. I have not one time seen him swing big. I've seen him go to right field. I've seen him almost try to punch the ball through the right side at times, very simply put, and that's why you see results. Cappy, you ask me all the time over the years, how do you succeed in the postseason? Why did you have success? That was the mindset I always had, Rhino. I mean, I didn't go up there and think big. I thought small, because I thought the guys that we're facing are the best pitchers this year. And if I'm going to go up there and think big, what are the odds that, you're going to take these guys deep? They're not very good. You're better off thinking up the middle and just play small and try to put the ball in play and see what happens.
I thought the same way. The better the pitcher, the more I wanted to be ready to hit, get my pitch, and not miss it with a shortened up attitude. Some of those times I shortened up, the ball went over here in the bleachers because I shortened up and just made contact. And some of the better pitchers with good fastballs, let them supply the power. But you got to start with contact, good contact. If we can make them make some plays, put some balls in play, get them in the stretch a little bit to think about the base runners, I think that's a good strategy for tonight.
All right, one guy on this Cubs roster that has taken the country by storm is Javier Baez. Another big game last night. He's the first Cubs player to steal home plate in a postseason game since it occurred in the 1907 World Series. Javi was hustling last night. A hustle double. He had the steal, and even he said, I made a mistake. I went too quick, but he hustled.
I'll say this, and I mean it when I say it. I've been thinking about him a lot, like the right way to describe what we've seen, certainly over the last few months in Javier Baez. And I don't think I've ever said this about anybody else, and I'm going to say it collectively. He embarrasses big leaguers, the opposition, a lot of times. I mean, he's playing at another level. He thinks ahead of the play itself. You look at the play last night and how it broke itself down. He made the mistake initially, but it turned into a classic bait. Ruiz pops out from behind the plate. He acts like he's going back. Everything about him, he knew he was going towards home and that he was going to try and score on that play. And I think it's amazing that he's thinking that fast and acting that fast right now. And honestly, I mean, there have been times where he's embarrassed other big leaguers by being on the game. I mean, you look at the tags out there at second base. Guys are sliding in thinking they're safe. I mean, you should see the looks on some of these guys' face when they slide in there thinking, I just stole a base. Happen? And they're like, wait a minute, I'm out. Why am I out? And he's playing on another level.
You can never get him embarrassed on a baseball field when you hustle.
Yeah.
When you hustle, good things can happen. He set himself up by getting to second base on the blue pit. That was hustling out of the box. And then on that play, the instincts took over. Once he was caught in between, not only did he hustle to home plate, but I believed he lined himself up with the catcher where the third baseman might be. And you see base runners do that, get in the line. Now they either have to go outside, take a couple steps out to get the lane, or they have to throw high over the base runner.
His arms up.
So I think he was anticipating the ball hitting him in the head, which is very instinctive and made it tough on the third baseman. He had to throw high over him and slid underneath safe.
Big play, big play. All right, let's look at the Dodgers lineup. Dave Roberts will head to home plate with this lineup card. Utley at second, Seager, Turner, Gonzalez, Reddick's in right, Peterson's in center, Grandal, Tolles, and Clayton Kershaw. Let's talk about Chase Utley. You manage this guy. The Cubs were interested in him a year ago. He didn't want to come here. He's in L.A., and he's leading off tonight. What's he like as a player?
He's a gamer. He's been an all-star, a terrific player. He's a battler. He's an old-school type of a player. He can set the tone at the top of a lineup. He's very patient up there. He makes the pitcher come to him, throw a lot of pitches. But he's a guy that's won before, so he'll be tough in that leadoff spot. I think the key to Hendricks overall is establishing the strike zone, preferably down in the zone with his two-seamer. Have good defense behind him, get some ground balls, and then have that umpire work with the corners with him, because when he's hitting his target, he's on both sides of the plate on the black, but he has to establish over the plate early over the plate means down, getting some action, maybe have the infielders be active out there helping him out.
All right, we have got to take another timeout. We have another chance for you to get interactive with our show. We'll do that when we come back. Still a lot more to do. We'll have Holly's keys to the game. We'll all pick our key performers. So stick around, Cubs and Dodgers. Cubs looking for a 2-game lead, a stranglehold on this series before they head out west for Tuesday night. Be right back.
When you're on hold, your business is on hold. That's why Comcast Business doesn't leave you there. When you call, a small business expert will answer you in about 30 seconds. No annoying hold music. Just a real person, real fast, whenever you need them. So your business can get back to business. Sounds like my ride's ready.
Don't get stuck on hold. Reach an expert fast. Comcast Business. Built for business.
Is new car shopping make you lose your mind? Get to Schaumburg Honda Automobiles for great customer service, selection, and savings.
During our sales spooktacular, lease a Honda Civic sedan for just $179 a month, or a CRV for only $199 a month.
Bob Rohrman's Schaumburg Honda Automobiles, just 8 blocks west of the Woodfield Mall on Gulf Road in Schaumburg.
Your living room TV. If only you could bring it with you anywhere you went. It's got everything. Your live channels, instant access to the best entertainment, plus your recorded shows. The only problem is, it's stuck in your living room. Well, not anymore. Finally, you have the power to make the world your living room. Now the live channels you love and watch at home are with you anywhere. Download the new free DirecTV app. It's your TV. Take it with you.
Attention, type 2 diabetics. According to the FDA, the drug Invokana may lead to diabetic ketoacidosis. If you or someone you love took Invokana and suffered ketoacidosis, you may be entitled to compensation. Ketoacidosis can cause kidney failure, coma, and even death. Call the law firm of Avram Blair & Associates right now for a free consultation.
Call 1-800-697-1903. That's 1-800-697-1903.
It's funny. Time once again for you to get interactive with our show. Be sure to get your mobile laptop or tablet ready. Head to csnchicago.com/vote. No special app. Visit that website. Get interactive with Holly, Rhino, and me. Here's what we're asking you this time. What area has been the biggest strength of the Cubs this postseason? Offense, defense, or pitching? Rhino, how do you vote?
The biggest strength so far? Once again, I think pitching sets the tone for the game. It keeps the score down. It gives your offense a chance to come back. Allows your defense to make some plays. You throw strikes, you challenge hitters, defense makes plays. Pitching for me, which has been there all year, has been the strength, and it continues to be for me.
The pitching's the right answer. I mean, they absolutely hands down the right answer, but I will add this. The defense is way more exciting, and it's a lot more fun to talk about because you're talking about Dexter Fowler last night making 2 incredible plays, talking about some line drives. We've talked all season long about Javi Baez and what he's done defensively. Pitching wins, plain and simple.
All right, I played Little League. They played in the big leagues. He's a Hall of Famer. He's Rookie of the Year, but I'm going defense. The defense last night was magnificent. John Lester wasn't great, and when they roped the ball, guys were there to make plays.
You know what? The other part of the defense is the coaching side of defense, the alignment. Where do you play the outfielders? Where do you shade them? Does the center fielder shade
them in the right spot?
Does the third baseman play off the line? Does Rizzo play off the line and make that play in the hole? The defense and the coaching staff works hand in hand with the defense.
Scouting reports.
Then the pitching, once again, the pitching pitches the way that they're supposed to hit their spots to allow the defense to play. It all works together.
Right.
Once again, it's pitching and defense
He's
combined.
right. It's like a concert.
Well, I mean, again, we said this last night during the postgame. I think people believed that John Lester, was getting hit hard and that he was pitching poorly. It's funny, 3 of the 5 line drives were hit right at infielders, strategically placed where they were. I mean, it's actually pitching to the defense.
That's right.
Well put. All right, let's go to Kelly Krull. She is with former White Sox star, first ballot Hall of Famer, now working for Fox. Here is Frank Thomas and Kelly.
Well, guys, thanks a lot. Joining me now, a very special guest, Hall of Famer Frank Thomas, as though you need an introduction in this city. Frank, let's get started with the Cubs here, what they're doing. You're seeing this environment. I know you're a White Sox guy, but is this fun? Is this great for the city and the game of baseball?
It's great for the city. I mean, the Cubs have earned this. I've watched them over the last couple of years build this ball club. It took a lot of patience. Theo took 3 years. I mean, people were basically calling for his head a little bit to turn it around now, and you know, he had a plan and it's worked out. This is a very talented ball club. They added key veterans, and now they're on the brink of something very, very special. And for them, I think it's World Series a bust.
Yeah, not a patient fan base, to say the least. But you talk about being special tonight, Game 2, a guy by the name of Clayton Kershaw taking the hill for the Dodgers. How, as a hitter, are these guys supposed to approach him in Game 2 with obviously a lot on the line for them?
I think the best approach for him right now is to extend the innings, not chase early in the count with him, because fatigue could be a big advantage for the Cubs. The guy's extended himself the last week twice. He's pitching off 2 days rest. But he could be sharper. You never know with Clayton. He's such a great pitcher. But I think their best chance tonight is extend innings and try to get his pitch count up and try to get him out of there as soon as possible.
I was just going to say, you see a lot of him in Los Angeles. In terms of fatigue, do you expect anything tonight to be any different?
Not fatigue, but I think it'll be a quick hook around 100 pitches. I mean, that's key for the Cubs. I think they got to score. I mean, really extend the innings, and if they're going to score, get the offense going late off the bullpen, because the Dodgers bullpen has been a sore spot for them lately.
You talk about the offense. One of the guys that I think a lot of Cubs fans would like to see get going here is Anthony Rizzo. Can a team continue to have this kind of a success without their big horse going?
Well, you know, Anthony's the glue guy of this team. I love Anthony. He's a great player. He brings that offense and defense every day. He's a leader on that team. He's just got to relax. I've been watching him. He's trying to do too much. He just needs to relax and be Anthony Rizzo. He's a great player. He just needs to relax and let the game come to him a little bit more.
What do you think? Can they keep pulling off these comebacks, these crazy, full of dramatic moments type victories, or do they need to settle into the offense that got them to this point? What do you think?
I see a very confident Cubs team, and the depth they have, the bullpen, the starting staff, they're very solid. They are definitely a threat to win the World Series this year.
All right, Frank, well, we miss you here in Chicago, but I hope you're having a good time here with this Fox crew. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me, Kelly. It's great.
Guys, there you go, the Big Hurt. We appreciate his time.
Pleasure, Kelly.
Thank you.
All right, thanks, Kelly. Time for another break here at Cubs Postseason Live. After break, we'll introduce you to a local Cub fan who shows his support for the Northsiders wherever he goes. Be right back.
Did you just see that? That was awesome. We have to try it. Okay. Okay, mine's not working. Maybe you have to bump it. Oh, yeah, do the bump it thing. Right. Okay. Yeah.
You can take money out using the BMO Harris app.
You want to buy a hairless cat? There's a pet store down the street.
Cool.
I think she said BMO Harris app. Yeah, that makes more sense.
When your phone is your debit card, that's the BMO effect. BMO Harris Bank, we're here to help.
Welcome to the Apt Showroom, one of the top appliance retailers in the U.S. Explore our full line of Thermador appliances that will inspire and empower you to imagine design and bring to life your dream kitchen. Our team of product experts will work with you, your builder, and designer from the very first sketch to the very last detail. Discover how Thermador is personalized to the way you cook and bring the ingredients of entertaining to life. Visit us at Apt, pleasing people since 1936.
Hi, how can I help you?
I got this. We're looking for something safe and spacious, has a rear view camera, and streaming audio for me to get my jam on.
How about a Honda CR-V? Named Kelley Blue Book's KBB.com Best Buy for 2016.
My work here is done.
Get a great deal on the Honda CR-V, named the Kelley Blue Book's KBB.com Best Buy for 2016. Only at the Honda Take Home a CR-V sales event.
You know the feeling. The rush of every roll, every flip, sip, bite, note, and night. You know the feeling. Get it at Ameristar.
In just 2 seasons, Chris Bryant already leads the list of most extra base hits in Cubs postseason history. Cubs third baseman has 9 of them, 2 better than 3 Cubs. Aramis Ramirez, Wildfire Schulte, and Ryne Sandberg. 5 players tied with 6, including 2 on the current roster, Dexter Fowler and Jorge Soler. And welcome back in here to our Cubs postseason live. I'm David Kaplan with Todd Hollingsworth and Hall of Famer Ryne Sandberg. Now, the fans that get the most coveted autographs are very rare. It's tough to get these guys sometimes, to find them, to nail them down. But Paul from Bartlett not only has a ton of autographs, he's worn a different Cubs shirt every day since September 15th. How's that possible? Take a look.
This is where it all started. They say being a Cub fan is a genetic disorder, so this thing was passed on from my father onto me. This is a game at the bleachers, the 2 of us, in 1983, and at that point, that's when I became hopelessly addicted to the Cubs. I've been collecting different items my whole life, and it's just now kind of become, I don't want to say an addiction, but it kind of looks like hoarding right now. I'm hoping to get the basement finished up pretty soon. But I collect everything from 8x10 autographs, 16x20 autographs, rare pieces of memorabilia that I try to pick up here, there, and everywhere, signed baseballs, autographed retired flags. Right here is from that 2003 game I went to. It's actually signed by Moises Alou, who was trying to make the catch, and Mark Pryor, who was the one that threw the pitch on that fateful night. The Cubs convention after Ron Santo died was probably the most melancholy. Usually the Cubs convention is a big celebration, a lot of fun. Kerry actually put this jersey up. This was when Santo had bladder cancer for the first time. And it was Kerry who put the jersey up, and this is in the Braves bullpen in 2003. And I said, Kerry, you know, Ron really meant, you meant a lot to Ron, and I'd want to, if you'd just sign right here. And I was an emotional mess, and he kind of took a look at it for a second, and he was kind of tearing up, and he asked me not to sell it, so Kerry, if you're watching, I've never sold it. This is one that's not going to be sold. These don't get sold. I'm not here to make a profit. I'm here to, you know, just, you know, indulge my love of the Cubs, so to speak. This guitar right here is a rare giveaway from Wrigley Field. So I think it's one, I don't remember, they had it numbered, I want to say maybe 1 of 400, I believe. Just for all you new Cub fans out there, there's a real simple rule. Don't ever take out your W flag until the game is over. Been seeing a little bit of that lately where people are taking it out a little bit prematurely. Don't do that, it's bad luck. I've been waving this flag for about, like I said, 15, 16 years. No, it doesn't smell real great. The number one question my wife always asks me is, did you have to buy another shirt? And the answer is no, but I can't help it. So we'll take a look at the wardrobe department. So if you take a look here, there's a lot of different shirts that you could see. Some of them are just for fun. Some ones that I like personally. This was from the first year that Theo came. The shirt that my wife likes the best, it's this sweatshirt right here, OCD, Obsessive Cubs Disorder. I think that's pretty darn accurate. You gotta wear the hat that matches, so if I'm wearing a 1960s Cub shirt, then you gotta wear a 1960s hat, so you can't go cross on that. That's just backwards. So you gotta kind of mix and match. When the Cubs win the World Series, I hope somebody's around with the defibrillator. I don't know if my heart could handle it. There's just gonna be a tremendous feeling of relief. There's not a Cub fan alive that hasn't imagined what it would be like when the Cubs win the World Series. Hopefully, like I said, hopefully this is the year, and it feels real good right now, so why not? Why not us?
Play us out.
Someday we'll go all the way. Yeah, someday we'll go all the way. Yeah, someday we'll go all the way. Yeah, someday we'll go all the way. Oh, someday we'll go all the way.
All right, last night, the 7th inning stretch was conducted by Ryne Sandberg and Bob Dernier. Tonight, it'll be Jonathan Taves, Duncan Keith, and Brent Seabrook of the Blackhawks. How much fun did you have doing that?
It was a lot of fun, especially with a 3-1 lead, and the crowd was ready.
They were into it.
Yeah, I had a ball with it. I was up there with Bobby D, talk
Nervous?
about the old times.
Nervous?
No, I'm over that. He was nervous, but I'm over the hump on that.
You've done it a few times.
Right? Yeah, I've done it a few times. I like to get the crowd involved and talk to the crowd, and they seem to respond. But try and get the team going type of a concept. And the moment was right with the lead. And with the 7th, 8th, and 9th inning coming up, it was right on time for that 8th inning.
Yeah,
right?
little did you know what was about to unfold
right.
in the ball game. It's fun to see just everybody so excited here. All of Wrigleyville people are just jacked.
All over town. I mean, everybody's talking about the Cubs right now. And as a player, you love that support. And I know the players are feeling this. Wherever they go, Rhino and I were just talking about our routines, where we go during the day and showing up at the same time and, you know, seeing things, especially during playoff time. I guarantee you these guys are out in town, going to their regular spots for lunch and get ready for these games, just enjoying the attention that they're getting from this incredible city of Chicago. I mean, this is the greatest group of fans. I've said it, I played for 8 teams. You don't get any better than Chicago when it comes to the loyal fan base, and I know these players right now feel it, and they're going to be leaned upon, trust me, probably in this series, maybe in the World Series to come, where they got to dig deep and they're going to have to pick their boys up, and that will be a challenge for this group. I think they'll get it done.
All right, we will take a timeout. You'll hear from Joe Maddon. We'll give you the keys to the game. Our guys will tell us what has to happen for the Cubs to beat Clayton Kershaw and the Dodgers tonight. We'll be right back on CSN.
Combining home and auto can save you big. Talk to a State Farm agent today.
We are the Coors Brewing Company, and our mountain is brewing the world's most refreshing beer. A beer proud enough to wear our name in big, red, scripted letters. That's why we lager, filter, and package cold. Because we believe every climb deserves a refreshing finish. Whatever your mountain, climb on.
When you visit Canals BMW, your toughest decision is which BMW will you drive home? A sporty BMW convertible? BMW sedan? BMW coupe? Or one of these BMW high-performance luxury models? And of course, everybody can get into one of these beauties. Canals BMW. Outstanding selection, competitive pricing, always a great decision.
Dirty old furnace. Call Four Seasons.
Dirty furnace? Clean it up with a Four Seasons furnace tune-up. Lower utility bills, increase furnace lifespan, and guarantee a breakdown-free season for only $89.95.
For all the right reasons, call 866-4 Seasons.
Hello?
What are you wearing, Jake from State Farm?
Are you serious? Not khakis. What are you wearing?
For fastballs, call me. For saving time and money, call State Farm.
You sound hideous.
It's time for Built for Business, presented by Comcast Business. And today we're looking at starting pitchers who have picked up both a win and a save in the same postseason since 1969. Clayton Kershaw, the latest in a long line that includes Madison Bumgarner for the Giants back in 2014, Mark Burley for the White Sox in 2005, and others such as John Smoltz, Greg Maddux, and Oral Hershiser. Comcast Business, built for business. Now let's hear from Joe Maddon, who just met with the media.
The big thing with Kershaw is that if he's on top of his game, man, it is what it is. You're just going to have to outpitch good pitching somehow. You never anticipate scoring a lot of runs. You really, in situations like this, you have to, if you have opportunities to score runs with outs, you do. You just can't rely on a base hit all the time. Don't expect to string 3 or 4 hits together. You might catch a homer once in a while. But the fact that he's been on such a heavy load lately, it's going to be just interesting to see where he's at. I think command and velocity will tell you a lot early on. I anticipate good from him, but how sustainable is it? So those are the factors that we got to look into tonight. But I give him a lot of credit, man. The guy is good.
Amazing.
All right, as Joe Maddon just said, the guy is good. He's talking about Clayton Kershaw. You talked earlier about shortening up a little bit, just trying to put it in play. This guy's curveball, though, is ridiculous.
Nasty curveball. It's in the zone, it's out of the zone. Sometimes if you think, okay, I'll take the curveball, then you'll throw for a strike. So I think you got to, if you shorten up, you can see the ball a little bit longer, let it travel a little bit, you'll be on the fastball. I think you still have to be on the fastball off of Kershaw. If he throws you one for a strike, you can react to it. If he hangs a curveball or throws it for a strike or hittable, being shortened up, you can still put that ball in play hard. But I don't think you can choose. I don't think you can guess with him. I think you have to stay on the fastball and adjust. And if he throws a curve, adjust to the breaking pitch for a strike, and that's a hittable pitch if it's a strike. The nasty one and the out one is the one that comes in and it goes down by the ankles by the time it gets to home plate, but it's right there in the hitting zone right out here where the hitters are looking.
And
that's what makes it nasty.
What about this guy? He's just amazing.
Well, I mean, he's an incredible competitor. I mean, think Madison Bumgarner in some way, shape, form. I mean, Bumgarner probably gets applauded for the postseason. Kershaw gets applauded for the regular season. You know, the one thing that I would add to what Rhino said right there is his ability to add and subtract velocity to all of that. I mean, the thing that's so interesting, you talk about that wipeout slider, it's usually at 88, 89 miles an hour. That big bender, that big curveball that we know him so much for, he throws it at 75. I mean, it's 14 miles an hour, 15 miles an hour slower. I mean, that is what really, in a lot of ways, will mess up hitters as well as their timing. You just can't peg it. So you're absolutely right. I mean, your best effort is to just kind of hone in on one pitch, particularly the fastball, hopefully get something out over the plate that you can handle and put in play hard and get after it, because you're not going to go up there and honestly defend the breaking pitches, sit on the fastball, and, sit back and have a walk in the park with Clayton Kershaw. He'll eat your lunch.
All right. Again, if Kyle Hendricks can do his job, that's a huge step to beating Clayton Kershaw. There's his father, John Hendricks. Relaxed, ready to go. We'll see how his son does tonight. The guys will give us their keys and our key performers. That's next on Cubs Postseason Live on CSN.
With robotic technology, we can now regrow your natural hair. And I should know, because I had the same procedure done to myself.
The technology is here. The time is now. Fantastic results, flexible payments. Call today.
This Cubs Injury Report is brought to you by ATI Physical Therapy, taking physical therapy to a higher level. Ask your doctor about ATI Physical Therapy. Get there.
It is I, Count Babila, and my girlfriends, here to save you big money on a new Toyota. Hurry in now to Oak Brook Toyota.
During our sales spectacular, lease a 2017 Toyota Camry for only $189 a month or get 0% financing.
Bob Rohrman. Bob Rohrman's Oak Brook Toyota in Westmont, only 5 minutes west of the Tri-State on Ogden Avenue.
Moving a 295-pound refrigerator is not easy. Moving your wife's 17th century colonial stemware collection is rarely easy. Moving Mr. Smooch's is never easy. Fortunately, moving your favorite entertainment with DirecTV is always easy. Just one call before you move is all it takes. Done. The DirecTV Movers deal. Easy now comes with bundles and equipment upgrades too. Call and ask about all the benefits today.
At Mike Anderson Chevrolet of Maryville, we make car buying fun. Want to have some fun today?
Save up to 30% on select 2016 Chevys in stock, like this new Malibu LT. Was $31,034, now only $21,985. Or save up to 27% on select 2016s in stock, like this new Chevy Trax LS. Was $21,710, now just $15,998.
Visit Mike Anderson Chevrolet in Merrillville at I-65 and 61st Avenue.
Mike Anderson Chevrolet.
Chevy Giant.
See you soon.
Everybody in a festive mood. Cubs a 1-0 lead in the NLCS over the Los Angeles Dodgers. Two teams will lock horns tonight. A really good pitching matchup. It's Clayton Kershaw for the visitors. Kyle Hendricks goes for the Cubs here at Wrigley. Welcome back to Cubs Postseason Live with the Hall of Famer Ryne Sandberg and Todd Hollandsworth. I'm David Kaplan. Time for these guys to give us their keys to the game. We'll start with you, Holly, your keys.
All right, well, we'll start off the top. I'll let Rhino play off of these a little bit. Stay selectively aggressive with Kershaw. I think it's absolutely imperative. I mean, the numbers don't lie. He gets hit a little bit more in the postseason. And frankly, it's because he's out over the plate. He throws a few more pitches to hit. He wants to stay in the zone. I think there's some opportunity, particularly early in this ball game, to jump on Clayton Kershaw and maybe get a little action going. So I want to see the guys be aggressive early, first inning, kind of like they were last night. Number two, watch Hendricks early. I think that's one thing in my mind. We assume he's back. I want to see that ball down. I mean, he got knocked out of the last game, a little concerned about the arm. I thought, well, you know, this is one of those things we better keep our eye on it. You know, he didn't strike anybody out, didn't walk anybody his last start. He was only out there for 3 2/3. But this is a big start, and if, in fact, he's up in the zone, again, with these left-handed Dodger hitters, that could be a little bit of trouble. So keep your eye on Kyle Hendricks. Last one for me would be the bullpen matchups that I absolutely expect to see again tonight. I mean, it was so much fun to watch the strategy between Joe Maddon, Dave Roberts, back and forth, the lefties and the righties and the pinch hitters, and the Contreras is still left on the bench, and I got a lefty in the bullpen, and oh man, I'll tell you, that's what makes playoff baseball great. We're going to see that again tonight, so it's going to matter.
All right, Rhino, how about your key to the game?
I think not to allow Kershaw to settle in with and breeze through the lineup with a lot of strikeouts, put the balls in play, shorten up, make him work, make him get in his stretch a little bit, think about some base runners, put a little stress on him early, and sometimes be selective in the zone, make him throw strikes, be ready for your pitch. He doesn't give hitters too many of their hitters' pitches to hit. Be ready on every pitch. Be on the fastball and don't miss your pitch by shortening up a little bit, putting balls in play.
When fans sit at home and they get the benefit of, you know, the center field camera, and they're like, how is he swinging in that pitch? It's down at his ankles. Please take us, both of you guys were successful hitters. Take us inside that mindset, because you guys know how tough it is.
Well, for me, I'll go, listen, he had the Hall of Fame career, so I'll give you the short answer. I mean, I just tried to create as much tunnel vision for myself as I possibly could. I always went up there with a game plan, and I've told you this many times. I was a good fastball hitter. I was not a good breaking ball hitter. So to me, it was kind of getting myself into that position to where I knew where I was going to get. Maintaining tunnel vision, meaning I had the ability to block all this out. It didn't bother me. I could get in those moments and just kind of realize it was me and the guy on the mound and get him to one spot and then try to put my best swing on it.
I started my career here in Chicago 0 for 31. I know what it is to struggle. What was wrong with me? I was trying to do too much. I was trying to overswing. I was swinging at balls. I was getting myself out. So for the hitters to shorten up a little bit, which I did at that point, work up the middle, use the whole field, put the bat on the ball to make something happen, to give yourself a chance, and to put some pressure on the defense out there, make them make some plays, is a pretty good place to start.
Your key performer tonight.
Key performer. I was very impressed with Hawley, with Fowler. It was a highlight show last night. Good call on your part, and I appreciate the chance to go first here.
You got it.
I'm going with Contreras, chomping at the bit to get out here. Young energy.
No question.
Maybe a guy that might be a little sleeper to Kershaw. It doesn't maybe doesn't know him quite that well. Maybe he's laying in the weeds a little bit. But to go up there and to be on a fastball with a good short stroke, I think Contreras, for me, is
yours. Is Travis Wood in the lineup?
No.
All right, I'm going to go with Ben Zobrist then.
He goes Zobrist, and I'm going to take Dexter Fowler, hitting over 400 against Kershaw. Don't forget, as soon as the game goes final, you flip back to Comcast Sports at the CSN. We'll have Cubs postseason.